What's up everybody, Jason Cole here with RCGroups.com, and I've got the FrSky x-lite Pro. It's here, it's in my hands, it looks awesome. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the blue, but once I got it here, just the blue and the matte black finish and the switches, everything, it just looks classy. Really nice. So I've got my original x-lite here, and this is the Pro, and you might ask, well, what's the difference? They look very similar. So the Pro has all metal CNC gimbals, and they feel really nice. The sticks are shorter and it's not a full-size gimbal, so it's going to take you a little bit to get used to the new gimbals, but they feel great, and it just takes like a flight or two and you get really comfortable with it and it feels great. Now these aren't the stock stick-ins. I did use some upgrade ones that I had. Actually, I put the stock ones on my x-lite because I like them a lot better than the ones that came on the original x-lite. They're just more aggressive. They have some more pointy edges there, so it helps just stick to your fingers and thumbs better. But the gimbal size is essentially the same as the original x-lite. I guess one of the great quality of life features on these new radios is the USB balance charging. So no longer do you have to pop the caps open, shake out the batteries. Just plug in USB now, light comes on and the power switch here. When the light goes out, you're done and charged, ready to go. So that's really nice. This also now has motion controls, and you can program it to do anything you want. If you wanted to fly your airplane by tilting and moving the radio, you can do that. A lot of glider pilots I've seen this done with on other radios that have motion controls is you could launch your airplane if it was DLG, for instance, and then tilt your radio back and it could read out your altitude for you. You can use it as a trigger for a switch, really whatever you want, but that's kind of neat that that's in there now. Also has haptic vibration, voice alerts, all this cool stuff. But most importantly for glider pilots, for DLG guys, thanks, flight mode thermal, are these two buttons on top. You got one on the left, one on the right.
Flight mode launch.
Those are momentary buttons, and I've got this programmed for one of my DLGs, and when I first saw the pictures, I was like, oh great, DLG buttons, and then I saw where it was. I'm used to having it back here on a spring-loaded switch. So for instance, on my original x-lite, it's spring-loaded, so when I press and hold, it's in launch mode, and as soon as I throw the airplane and release, the button is let off and then it goes into zoom mode. So I'm used to having it right there, and that kind of felt natural, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like where it was in the middle, but when you hold it and grab it, that's where your finger naturally goes. So
Flight mode launch.
I found that it was really easy to use, and even though it's a fairly small size, it's not hard to hit. So when I was coming in for quick turns, I'd be waiting on the airplane, grab the peg, hit the switch, spin around, let go. Everything just felt really natural and normal. So I'm extremely happy with that, just being stock and not having to modify a switch to make it work for DLG pilots. So that's really cool. Now the other thing is the new access protocol. There's a lot to do. This is mainly on the inside. It's lower latency. We've got 24 channels available, wireless binding, channel remapping. You can get telemetry to the radio from up to 3 receivers. And then on the Pro only, you do have access to, let's see if we can pull it up here, some tools. So we have a spectrum analyzer, so you can see kind of what the RF environment is like in real time. And then you also get a power meter right there. So, that might be useful for you. But those are pretty neat features that are available. But for me, it's really all about the design, the ergonomics, how light it is. When I was flying DLGs with my bigger, heavier, more expensive radios, I was always worried about slinging the radio instead of the airplane, or my hands would get sweaty and it would be hard to grip and hold. But the way this is designed, feels like an Xbox controller. It's really comfortable in your hands, but also when you're one-handed for throwing, you've got access to the button. You can still fly the airplane, even if you're a righty. I happen to be a lefty, so I hold it with my right hand. And I don't have to worry about throwing the radio. It's solid, it's got a good grip. I feel really comfortable with it. And I feel like it's really helping me be more aggressive in my launches, which is you know, really important for launch height. So overall, I got to tell you, I'm really happy with the radio. I like the new gimbals. Everything feels really, really nice. And the only downside, I think, for some right now on the radio is the access protocol is limited on receivers. They do have the access firmware for my little GRX6. This has a pressure sensor in it so I can get altitude telemetry data. Nice and light for DLGs and small gliders. But they do have access firmware available for, you know, few of the receivers. It's not very widespread right now, but they're going to be releasing more firmware updates and you'll be able to use it. This is not backwards compatible with the other protocol previous to access. So you kind of get it and you're stuck. If you have a drone or something, if you're a drone guy and you want to use it with drones, you're going to have to make sure you're using a receiver that's compatible currently. But it's early on, so that's all going to get sorted out, no problems. But so the original X-Lite, love it, still great radio, but the Pro, the new buttons for DLG, the new access stuff for lower latency, longer telemetry range. There's some great features there for DLG pilots specifically, which is what I'm going to be using this radio for mostly. And it comes in at $199, so that's very, very inexpensive for what this thing is capable of with the OpenTX software. Not going to dive into that at all, but you guys are familiar with that and can do basically anything you want. So if you can dream it, you can build it and fly it and do it with that OpenTX software. And that's it for now, guys. That's the X-Lite. I'm going to go fly some DLGs now, go have some fun, enjoy the weather. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll have the full review online at rcgroups.com. That link will be in the description of the video. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for more, guys. And that's all. Catch you later.